If you really want a huge sense of accomplishment, I really recommend working on a movie.
Doesn't work like any other director that I've worked with.
How does she know how to use a shotgun? Maybe she's military trained. And it was just one of those things where I just kept thinking and thinking, and the universe kept getting bigger and bigger.
Not badass in real life at all. I'm a pansy.
I don't really remember wanting to do anything else except make movies.
We set off to make the first short film, which would become the first 4 minutes of the full feature.
First question was, can I make werewolves for almost no money? And being a fan of origami and understanding how versatile paper and cardboard can be, I decided to use cardboard as a base.
Working on the werewolf was interesting. That was really kind of the first big project. Because it's really about, you know, how do I make this thing? I wanted a big, hulking thing. So my inspiration would be coming from Jim Henson and other puppeteers, you know, really looking at the big puppets he would make.
The head would be made out of cardboard and duct tape, then I would cover it in yarn and fur, and then it would act as sort of a headdress.
And I looked at a lot of costumes, like I would see at Mardi Gras, where they would build these big, huge giants. So that's where I kind of got that from, is taking a backpack and building a thing around it that would have this wire framing that would be on the backpack. So that would be the body. And then I have these huge claws that I would make. I was actually big monster hands that I think I got from Spirit, but I would stuff them with newspaper and then spray paint them black, and then I'm building the werewolf head out of cardboard. And this was all about trying to get materials for cheap. But I spent a lot of money on duct tape and fake fur. Yarn was free. I was able to get yarn for free. Spent a lot of money on hot glue. A lot of hot glue. A lot hot glue.
I built one wolf beast and then multiplied it in editing. Eventually that 4-minute short we would use that to raise money, and that would actually be the beginning of the full feature film. In 2011 we shot the short, and I fully intended on running a Kickstarter. '11 was definitely another bittersweet year. I was having a great year professionally. I was selling some big commercials for big companies. I was making money from using my talents for making videos. I was having fun. My brother Robert, back in Texas, got sick. And my family told me he was in the hospital and he had developed some sort of heart infection. I was talking to my friend Julie Keels at the time. She was my set photographer that I would use on Monster Cops and other projects, and we talked a lot about movies, and we were talking about her helping me out on R.E.D. In the spring of 2011, she would get into a car accident. Days later, she would pass away. And then I wasn't able to attend her funeral because that was the day that I got a call from my family in Texas saying that my brother was sick, you need to come home, and, you know, possibly...
So everything kind of hit right
yeah. After 6 years of being away, here I was back in Texas. And I was sad that I was gone for so long. I was sad that this was the reason I had to come back. I had to come back to say goodbye to my brother. And it was actually like the worst time and the best time, because I got to see my family and remember what it was like to be home. You know, but then seeing my brother was like awful. Because the last time I saw him, I told him he couldn't respond. He was pretty much, he was cognitive, but he couldn't say anything back. But I knew he could see me and hear me, so I told him I'm making this movie. You know, when I finish it, I'm gonna finish it for you. I want you to see this. On May 23rd, 2011, he died. And it's not something you really get over, losing your big brother. And he raised me just as much as mom and dad ever did. Going into 2012, We'd shot a good portion of the movie, but there was still so much left to do, so much more footage to shoot. And there was only so much I could do on very little money. So I went right into the Kickstarter. Also had 2 more fundraisers on Indiegogo, and once we raised that money, I could finally get on track and get the movie shot, get the rest of the footage that I needed, and then go right into post-production. That last one,
Okay.
I did the last one. That doesn't motivate.
Do you want to hit? Okay.
No, she doesn't. Now she wants to go home and drink something. Alethea, mind-blowing. Super talented. She's exactly what I was kind of looking for. She knew exactly how to play this bad guy, and it was a pleasure working with her. And she was very enthusiastic. She had her whole look, that Snow White look, I told her basically what I wanted, and she came up with that. I'm like, that's better. What you came up with. So her whole look, that was all her. She did her makeup and her hair and all that, and that was all her costume. And it was really impressive. So I was like, that was one of those instances where I was like, wow, I really lucked out.
Go. And go.
The big delay in finishing the movie was because it was so ambitious. I had a big cast, a lot of schedules to juggle, trying to deal with shooting in the heat and then doing the effects, practical effects, as well as post effects. It all took time to accomplish. It's because I was pushing to make something bigger than what was the norm. I didn't want to just do a single camera shoot with just a few characters. I didn't want to just do a small movie. I wanted to see how far I could push it. Can I do this movie on a shoestring budget and do the effects and tell an adventure story and do the fantasy and do the sci-fi and use an ensemble cast? Don't sweat on my gun, April.
Sorry. It's my hands.
Yeah, there was definitely a lot of shooting in the forest. A lot of exterior shots. So hot. A lot of insects. But yeah, that was a big pain in the ass. Was just loud insects and just a lot of heat. Really, really hot.
I remember, I think it was more than one day where it was just like, I was like,
Yeah.
my makeup, it's still going everywhere. It's just, and and then I had like 3 shirt layers on, so it's like, oh, it's a good thing you can't see my armpits because they would be very drenched right now. And
We are in Nicaragua,
It would be cool if we were.
and it's there's not insects here. I'm just schizophrenic.
the thing with the cane that wouldn't come out, and I kept, you remember the thing? It was like the police.
You will pay.
Sorry, I left my wallet in my purse.
Okay, ready? Go. Just go. Go. Go.
And I couldn't get it to work.
Okay. You try again.
Okay, I am rolling. You can do it. I believe in you. Go. Someday. This is. Oh, let's see what happens. Hold on. Go. Go.
Ah, kick with the wrong leg.
Damn you, April.
Sorry. You get it? Yeah, I did get it.
No, I got it.
Everybody's
We're all slapping each other.
Was the camera running?
What was it?
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Alright.
Yeah.
Winning.
Eventually we would get a studio later, but until then we would occasionally shoot where anytime that I need to set up a green screen or I need an indoor location, I was able to go to the Greensboro School of Creativity. I think it's called the Creative Center now. But they were able to give us some, like, I think one of their dance studios is what we used. That was one of the first places we used the green screen at. That was, it was very comfortable. It was actually air conditioned, a little noisy, but I'm not going to complain. I was glad we were able to get that And I think we used that like 2 or 3 times. And that's what we did before we actually were able to move into a studio.
Okay.
I'm scanning.
I'm using this. I'm using all this. This is going in the movie. You probably shouldn't get in the habit of pointing the gun to your head.
I did that. I'm just like,
Just to like.
I'm just.
Yeah,
I'm
she's like,
scared.
and I'm like,
That frame is going on the Facebook page.
Tell me something. How long have you been working for R.E.D.? How long have you been working for the terrorist organization known as the R.E.D.D?
So were there moments where the things you wanted to do character-wise you weren't able to do actor-wise? Were there setbacks like that?
Not character-wise, because I was very flexible as far as the actors. But as far as what I was writing, there was like there's a scene that I wrote in the very first draft of the script where, because Red's like super smart, and she actually finds like a junkyard and like puts together this badass motorcycle like in a day, and she uses that to like speed towards the grandmother, cutting time in half. And it was just this really cool chase thing, and I'm like, yeah, can't do that. Cannot do that. So stuff like that. But when it came to like characters, and so I was really open with what people could do. But as far as like, oh, I put in 30 helicopters in this, oh, I can't. The grim soldiers that were, they're like the stormtroopers of the movie. That was tough to do sometimes because I only had 1 or 2 guys that would fit in the costumes, and then sometimes I couldn't use them. So I'm like, okay, there needs to be other bad guys. So I was like, let me build this robot. I can, make it do whatever I want and multiply it. So that's why that was kind of a solution to a problem. The whole movie is really damage control, but there was stuff like that. So I was like, let me build this little tiny robot.
That sounds so bad when you say it that way.
What?
It was so damage control.
I mean, it is. It's like, how do I get this shot? Oh, we can't. What can I do to fix this to just convey? But in the end, it's like, okay, that pretty much turned out the way I was hoping it would. As long as you capture the essence of the story. Hey guys, I wrote and directed a movie. It's called R.E.D. It's a sci-fi action epic. It is on DVD and digital download. You should totally go to redmovie.com and get a copy. Check out all the videos, check out all the trailers, check out all the clips, watch the behind the scenes, because me and my crew busted our asses to make this movie, and we think it's pretty nifty, so you should definitely check that out. And if it's something that you like, something that seems like it's gonna be awesome, you should definitely buy a copy.